A lot of us, what we crave is a rebirth, a letting go of the old self to become something new, to completely become something so new that that old version of you is completely a thing of the past, where it's literally gone, it's dead, it's no longer in your experience because you've let it go completely. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to actually fulfill this desire, how to kill your old self and become something new. And I'm going to be sharing with you why you don't actually have to kill the old self, and you can actually shift into a different version of you where you don't have to be resisting anything or trying to let go of the old self. I'm going to share with you a faster process that allows you to shift into this version of you very quickly. But by the time you're in that new version of yourself, the old self is gone, and technically you have killed the old self, but not in the way that your mind and ego thinks. And so let's talk about that in this video. It's going to be how to kill your old self and become something new. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. It's also going to be in the comments of this video as well. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you in this video is to understand that life is a continual death and rebirth. A lot of us just aren't conscious of this. You're recreating yourself, and your old self is dying every single nanosecond. So right now, who you were a second ago is dead. Right now, who you were a second ago is dead again. And right now, who you were a second ago is dead again. And this is always happening. But what happens is that we can get into such dense states of awareness and consciousness that we repeat the same things where it seems like that's not happening. It seems like you're a very static and slow, non-dynamic being, and that's just how life is. This is just how reality is. You don't need to change. And then you see somebody that maybe they come from let's say they're 20 years old. You look at them when they're 40, and it's almost like they're the same person. Like they haven't experienced a lot of change. It's almost like they're almost exactly the same energetically, and their circumstances are very similar. Even if they've changed circumstances, it's almost like they brought that same version of them with them to the different circumstances. You find this a lot, is that people try to change locations, change cities, change relationships, but they keep experiencing the same things over and over and over, regardless of where they go, because the thing is, no matter where you go, there you are, and you bring your problems with you. Now, what's happening is that when you start to become more aware of the way reality actually is working, you can see that life is a continual death and rebirth, and you don't need to be recreating the same experiences over and over again. Either way, you're recreating a new version of yourself in each moment. The question is, does it have to be the same? Does it have to be like a similar version of you that it was a moment ago? No, it doesn't. That's an assumption. You assume that you have to be the same version of yourself that you were a second ago. And you keep playing that game because you subscribe to that belief system. But you don't have to be subscribing to that belief system. You can subscribe to a different belief system and say to yourself, you know what? Who I am now does not have to depend on who I was a moment ago. Not at all, right? This is when people say, it's like, oh, I know what type of person you are. That is not really true existentially. That's not really the case, because who that person is, the way that person has showed up, the way that person is, has nothing to do with who they are going to be, okay? It's most likely probable that they're going to be slightly similar, but a person can have such a powerful rebirth that they're unrecognizable to who they were yesterday. Okay, I don't even, like you can look at somebody and they can have more expansiveness and more, they can change more in a day than another person did in like 10 years, because you can change a lot. You see some people that live from like 20 to 40 to 50 years old or whatever to 80, I'm not saying how long you live, but let's just say 20 years goes by and not much has changed. They're the same person. They're the same problems, same arguments, same challenges. It's just the same thing happening again and again. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but I do think it's a little bit unfortunate because people can be aware that that doesn't have to be the case. You have other people where every week new exciting things happening, new experiences, new energies. They don't even know who they were a week ago. Things are happening quickly. Things are happening money changes, relationship changes, this changes. And that's because life is death and rebirth. And so I want to, start out this video by just bringing awareness to the fact that helping you to become aware of the fact that life is a death and rebirth. And it's always something that's being recreated in each moment. Ego death, that's what ego death is you realize that, wait a second, I'm always alive and kind of dead at the same time. And it sounds scary, but it's just an existential truth that you can become aware of and tap into to help you to evolve faster, to learn things quicker, to not repeat the same things again, and see that you have a choice to recreate yourself into something brand new in each moment, which sounds cliche, right? That you can recreate yourself into something brand new in each moment. But it's just, again, I always talk about this. The reason why these cliche things go viral is because they're absolutely existentially true. This is why you hear things like this all the time, because they have a deep truth to them. And it is true that your current version of you has nothing to do with the past. The past does not define who you are. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you once again is that who you embody now does not depend on your past. Okay? You have to be aware of this. Who you are now does not depend on your past. Okay? That's really important to remember. So you're thinking, oh my gosh, I did this thing before and then this result happened. Okay? Maybe there's some truth to that, but maybe it was the place you were coming from. There's a lot of different factors in terms of maybe why that action that you did in the past didn't work. And you might be thinking, oh, I can't do this because I used to have all these problems. I can't start a business because I'm not a social person. I can't have this relationship because I'm not worthy enough. I can't, but those are past belief systems, right? It doesn't have to define who you choose to be now. You can choose to embody a confident version of yourself, a version of yourself that is worthy of that, whatever you want, the money or the relationship or whatever you desire. And you never want to let your past limiting beliefs define who you choose to be now. So if you've been in a loop of believing that you're not worthy to get something, you don't have to choose that anymore. You can choose to be something else. I want you to be aware of this, because you don't want to get stuck in a feedback loop of believing the same thing again and again and again and again and again and again, over and over and over and over and over, creating very similar experiences, not realizing that it's a choice to do that. It's a choice. It doesn't have to be that way, right? And typically what you'll find is that people that are very attached to their past, when you invite them into a new reality, they'll defend their old self. The old self wants to sort of stay alive in a way, in a sense, if you want to communicate it in that way. And it's almost like it wants to stay alive so badly that if you invite somebody, even gently sometimes, not even in a pushy way, but gently say, hey, there's this possibility. No, this possibility isn't possible because this, and this, right? And it's usually past reasons in terms of things that didn't work out in the past, or belief systems that aren't in alignment with that version. But deep in that person's heart, they know they want to become something new, yet they still defend the old reality, right? So you want to be aware of where you're doing this. Where are you doing this? It's very easy to point fingers at somebody else and say, wow, this person's holding on to the past. They're not becoming who they truly want. They're really, really holding on. They're attached. But the question is, where are you defending your old self, defending your past beliefs as a reason in terms of why you can't become who you want to be now, why you can't take action on who you prefer to be now, where you can't live into and embody that version of who you want to be now? Who says that you can't do that? And if somebody does say that, why are you believing that? And are you giving energy to your own past belief systems and defending why it's not possible because this, and this? And is there an emotional investment in that old self? If there's any sort of overly emotional investment in some reason in terms of why you can't do something, you want to always be conscious that that's most likely your old self controlling you, and you're choosing to stay there. So actually nothing's controlling you, you're choosing to stay stuck, and you're living into an illusion where you're being controlled by something outside of you, and in reality you're choosing to stay stuck. Okay, so again, who you embody now does not depend on your past. Be aware. I invite you to be aware. Where are you emotionally investing into some old self that you on some level don't really want to be living into anymore, and you're obviously not happy with that, because investing emotionally in that is causing you to feel drained and feel like you're holding on to baggage. Number 3, this is very critical, what I want to conclude this video with, is stop trying to kill the old self. This mentality of, I need to bring up the old self and kill it, already is shooting yourself in the foot. Let me explain why. True healing is not about necessarily bringing up the trauma and then letting it go. That's not what true healing is about. True healing is about realizing that you already are healed in a way, that you don't need to be trying to bring anything up. Because here's the thing, if you bring something up, you're creating that in that moment. Okay? I'm not saying there's not a time and place to bring up emotions and feel into them and allow them to be there, but you want to be conscious of where are you just recreating the same version of yourself again and again and again, believing that's going to heal you, when in reality what will heal you is when you give yourself permission to say, you know what, that's not who I am. That's who I was before. That's who I decided to be again and again and again. But you know what? I'm not going to make that a choice anymore. Where are you recreating the same things again? And where are you kind of living into the same patterns? Now what you can do is you can make a choice to say, you know what, I'm not living into that anymore. I choose to be something different. And you embody it, and it feels effortless, and it feels amazing, and it feels expansive, and it feels blissful. It might be a little bit out of your comfort zone. You might feel a little bit like you're in the unknown. You might feel a little bit scared even, but within all of that, you're not emotionally investing in the old self. You're having lots of fun. You're excited. You're having all these new experiences. And then before you know it, wait a second, that old self, you forgot about it. It's a thing of the past. In that moment, your old self has died because you stopped creating it. Okay, so this is really the true answer to kill your old self, is stop trying to kill the old self and just be who you want to be now. Go do what you want to do now. Who do you want to be now? Embody it. Be it. Choose to be it right now. See it in your mind's eye, feel it, and then be it. You can choose that right now. That's not something that's out of range of possibilities. In fact, it's highly probable, because if you're able to perceive of a reality in your mind's eye, that means that it's within your consciousness field. That means that it's possible for you. That means that you can actually live into that if you give it enough energy and stop giving energy to who you used to be, which is what you're embodying now in a way, if you choose to make that choice. But you can embody to be somebody else. Not saying you are embodying now, but you could be. But you could also be choosing to embody somebody else. I'm not saying you are embodying the past, but if you are, be aware that you don't have to be, right? Maybe if you've been watching this video and you're aware that, oh my gosh, I have been giving energy to some past version of myself, and I've been recreating it over and over and over, excuse me, by the way. But you got to realize that you don't have to make that choice anymore, okay? You don't need to be making that choice. You can be whoever you want to be right now, and it has nothing to do with who you used to be. And you can do that by giving yourself the choice, giving yourself the opportunity, giving yourself permission to make a choice to be who you want now. So stop trying to kill the old self, be who you want now. And with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. It's also going to be in the comments of this video as well. Also, please hit that like button for me so that more people can get access to this content, because I do believe that every single person on this planet does deserve to know that they are the creators of their reality, and they can manifest their reality and do so in the most effortless and easy way possible, helping themselves and others in the process. And hitting that like button does help the YouTube algorithm push the videos out to more people, and that would be greatly appreciated. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.